Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Some promise in plasma, a new treatment for COVID-19 being tried out at Henry Ford Hospital. The results so far are encouraging.
And the battle over reopening the state heats up in Lansing, and tonight we're learning what Republicans may do to try to force the governor to speed up the process.
And Mayor Duggan laying out the first steps the city is taking to try to restore services and get city workers back on the job.
Those stories coming up in just a bit, but first we want to begin with some breaking news happening right now on Detroit's west side, where a one-year-old little boy has been attacked by a dog.
Jason Colthorpe got to the scene just a few minutes ago. What can you tell us so far, Jason?
Oh, guys, let me just show you behind me here. Actually, this dog mauling, you're seeing the owner of the dog, as a matter of fact, walking down the sidewalk just now, and he's about to walk in front of the house where this little boy, 1 to 2 year old boy, lives, and was attacked by his dog just a short while ago. I want to walk you through what happened. First of all, and we also have video of this dog that was described as a gray pit bull, was on a chain in between those houses, slipped the chain, was able to get out, and the 1 to 2 year old boy was walking around with other adults out there and attacked the 1 year old, bit him on his head, in his neck. 2 men came out to try and save the child. They pulled him away, were able to get the child away. One of the men was bitten pretty badly. He was taken to Sinai Grace. The child was taken to Children's Hospital. We don't know right now the condition of that child, but we can tell you that dog, the video you just saw of the dog being put, is still on the scene here in the truck over here belonging to authorities. But again, when we got here, there was still some arguing going on between that family there and the owners of the dog, but in the house right next door. So a lot for police to sort out. Police have been on the scene just in case anything else happened for a long time. We're waiting to see if anyone gets arrested here. We're going to be following this for you on Detroit's west side. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Okay, Jason. Well, we turn now to coronavirus, and today's new numbers, both are up from yesterday.
Check out this chart that's tracking the daily new cases and deaths. We are constantly updating this at Click on Detroit. It shows a big jump in cases from yesterday, with 1,052. Total number of deaths sadly eclipsed 3,500 today. But it is important to note the numbers, though, overall are still showing signs that the virus is slowing. And
with that encouraging data, Mayor Mike Duggan says it's time for some city workers to get back on the job. So let's get to Mara McDonald. She's live tonight. Mara, this is good news, but things are really going to be different.
Oh, Kimberly, they're going to be so different. The mayor detailed some of the intense safety protocols that are going to be in place from here on out. Take a look.
And today, we're announcing that we're going to bring back 200 workers for our General Services Department.
Some 200 city workers who maintain city parks, the medians, and other city properties. Duggan was joined by union leadership who made it clear they support the mayor and the efforts being taken to keep workers well.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Let me just begin this by stating to you directly from a distance, a safe distance, that in my many, many, many years of doing this, this is the finest example of cooperative effort that I've seen in a long, long time.
The goal of the administration and union leadership is to make sure workers are as safe at work as they are at their homes. And the standards for city workers will be the same standards that Detroit will insist its private contractors use. For starters, a negative COVID-19 test, then daily masks, social distancing, and a reduction in workplace density, along with the daily thermometer check.
All of my department heads know every month we're going to measure the infection rate of the employees in each of these departments.
Back here live, on top of all that, way increased sanitation protocols, which are already in place both for vehicles as well as other workspaces. And the mayor made it really clear this afternoon, this isn't going to be in place for a week or two. We're looking at this being in place for months to come. We're live downtown tonight at Detroit Police Headquarters. I'm Mara McDonald. Back to you.
The new normal. Okay, Mara. Well, now to Lansing, and the state legislature putting pressure on Governor Whitmer and her plan to reopen the state.
Yeah, a number of Republicans believe it is progressing too slowly, and they're looking to move things along a little more quickly. To get that done, they are threatening not to extend the state of emergency. Rod Maloney has been watching this brewing battle. He's got an update from the governor. Rod.
Yeah, you know, Devin, it's a situation where many of the Republicans on the Senate floor are impatient. They want to see more activity. The governor has been meeting with the leadership, both the minority leader and the speaker, and I'm told that the talks have been fairly cordial. And so as it stands right now, there is a belief they can get to a middle ground.
We've got some productive conversations going on. I know that they are interested in better understanding some of the work that the MERC has done. That's the Economic Recovery Council that is going to be making some recommendations on informing the decisions that I'll have to make in the upcoming weeks.
So they're talking, but Republicans want construction, both indoor and outdoor, to get underway as soon as possible. The governor appears on board with the outside construction. She's not saying much about the indoors, like, say, a kitchen renovation. The leadership also wants to see non-emergency medical procedures get a quick green light as well. Today, for the first time, the governor said on that,
there are some procedures that we should start to really open up, and hospitals have been right at the table and a great partner.
Still, the speed is key. Leadership holding out, not giving the governor her extended state of emergency unless there is more and quicker movement. And in the medical area, she appears willing to bend.
And I do think that this is an area where there's some opportunity to do more.
So there is political horse trading in the offing, the leadership wanting more specifics on the regional plan and, more than anything, an improved pace.
I would anticipate that, yes, in the coming days, maybe week, you will see an additional executive order.
And so we'll look at that and wait for that with the great anticipation. In the meantime, the governor and the leadership are going to meet yet again, either this afternoon and tonight. We'll keep it under the ground on that and let you know what becomes of it. Back to you.
The full legislature is expected to meet tomorrow. Kind of describe the atmosphere on this right now.
Well, Devin, you know, there is the belief that things are just taking too long. And there is the notion that they've got to move this thing along, and they want the governor to get on it, and they want to get more specifics and essentially get this thing done as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, we'll be on it tomorrow. All right, Rod. Now, to new medications and treatments for COVID-19 that are being tested in medical centers across the country.
Yeah, the use of plasma from people who have recovered to treat patients who are seriously ill has been an especially intriguing option. So Dr. Frank McGeorge is live now tonight with one of the first Metro Detroit patients to receive plasma as part of an ongoing study. Doc.
Scariest part of this was certainly for my family. What I'm learning, I was unconscious and paralyzed and on a ventilator. And
with this disease, not being able to be with your loved one, and then they're so terribly ill, it seems very strange and not right.
Before he went on the ventilator, Dr. Katz was able to Skype with his family.
We really had a potential goodbye call is what we were doing.
So far, 14 COVID-19 patients have undergone transfusions of convalescent plasma at Henry Ford Hospital. The plasma donated by healthcare workers who have recovered. The patients were all very sick, requiring oxygen or a ventilator. And now?
All of them have had no complications, and all of them are actually doing well. And while we can't yet say that this convalescent plasma is a cure, we know that it certainly is not hurting anyone. And in fact, there's lots of evidence to suggest that we may be moving in the right direction.
As he is the champion of Corona.
And Dr. Katz shared he now has another reason to celebrate.
My father has been on and off of the ventilator at Henry Ford for the last month, actually, and he just came off about 15 minutes ago. So there we go.
Yeah, and that was some excellent news to start the interview. Now, it's important to note, patients in the study, including Dr. Katz in particular, also received other treatments, including remdesivir and hydroxychloroquine, so it's really not possible yet to determine which drug regimen or treatment may have been the most effective. But Henry Ford is very excited about the results, including the good outcome for one of our own.
It is very exciting. So, Doc, what should people who have recovered from COVID-19 do if they're interested in donating plasma?
Well, the Red Cross is registering potential donors, so that's a good place to start. So far, Henry Ford has been concentrating on plasma donations from Henry Ford Health System employees. No, the donations there that are not used at Henry Ford are actually kept at a central blood center, and they are available to any hospital in Michigan with ongoing FDA-approved convalescent plasma studies. So it is available for other hospitals as well.
Very good. All right. Thanks, Doc.
There are new questions today about whether President Trump's new bar for coronavirus testing is high enough to support states reopening. And as the president touts the Paycheck Protection Program, there are some small businesses still getting shut out. Alice Barr in Washington as owners fight to survive. Alice?
Devin, President Trump is pushing states to ramp up their testing and even weighing mandatory testing for some air travel as the U.S. case count hits a new high.
A sobering milestone today as confirmed U.S. coronavirus cases pass the 1 million mark. And as states begin reopening, many without following White House guidelines, an influential model is increasing its projected death toll, saying 74,000 Americans may die by August. With broad agreement, more testing is crucial. The Trump administration rolling out a blueprint that calls for governors to bump screenings up to at least 2% of each state's population every month.
The testing is going very well, but this is a good example of a partnership between the federal government and a state government.
President Trump meeting today with the governor of Florida, who's raising concerns about international travelers before announcing plans tomorrow to reopen his state. The president considering mandating testing for passengers on international flights.
We're working with the airlines on that. Testing on the plane, getting on the planes.
The Senate's top Democrat pressing President Trump to use his authority to make sure there are enough materials for all this testing.
Why don't we need a national regime to make sure that the manufacturing and supply chains work? The states can't do it.
Another key to getting the economy back on track, saving small businesses. President Trump touting the Paycheck Protection Program, though major problems persist. The website crashing as frustrated small business owners rush to apply as soon as applications reopened. And for first responders still working on the front lines.
You have a sense of passion that this is what you're meant to do.
The elite Blue Angels and Thunderbirds delivering a military salute today with a flyover in New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia.
House members have reversed course and decided not to return to Washington next week because of rising cases of coronavirus here in this area. Lawmakers are hoping to return soon to begin working on the next round of emergency aid. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
Okay, Alice, by the way, on Wall Street today, stocks finished in the red at the end of the trading, but Dow finishing down just 32 points, snapping a 4-day winning streak, though, and that was its longest since February.
All right, we have a lot more to get to here at 5, including Ben, and he is tracking some rain on the way. Ben.
Yeah, Kim and Devin, we put together 2 nice days in a row, so you know what that means. It's time for everything to go south, and that is exactly what's going to happen tonight. We'll look at the rain and how much we're going to end up with next.
There was definitely a little bit of fear my first time before coming here.
She's a college senior volunteering to help fight the coronavirus. Her inspiring story is on the way.
Well, the chief is back on his feet again after a battle with COVID-19. But the first thing on his list now that he's back is going around and visiting police officers, seeing about them. That story coming up.